The Jim, however, despite the fact that Bob and Michelle Duggar have brought up a family that is filled with devout children, this does not mean that they have not had some inappropriate experiences in the past. Their television shows on TLC, 19 Kids and Counting On, have brought them a lot of attention. Due to the fact that they are known for their politically conservative views and their stringent family regulations, their large family has generated a stir in the world of reality television. A total of 19 children have been born to Jim Bob Duggar, who is 57 years old, and Michelle Duggar, who is 56 years old. The family has been the subject of tell-all novels written by their children, as well as a documentary series that has been produced by Amazon Video. In spite of the fact that the Duggars are members of the IBLP Church, they have nonetheless been involved in some embarrassing public displays of affection. Amy Duggar, who is now 36 years old, is the niece of Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar. Despite the fact that she was a member of the family when she was younger, she was also a participant on the show. It is common knowledge that she is the most free-spirited member of the family, and she frequently disobeys Jim Bob's regulations. There have been reports of her wearing a variety of revealing garments, such as shorts, bathing suits, and low-cut tops respectively. Amy has also been captured on camera kissing beneath the fireworks that were set off on Independence Day this past year. Jeremiah. On social media, Jeremiah Duggar, who is 24 years old, and his wife Hannah, who is 28 years old, have also ignored his father's personal space regulations. When Jeremiah made the announcement that he was going to marry Hannah, he included a number of photographs, one of which showed the couple holding each other with their arms around each other. The photo was quickly brought to people's attention, and they began posting their thoughts on Reddit as soon as they could. "It's an outrage." One guy ridiculed in jest, "What a scandal," while another sneered and said, "Straight off to hell." An individual even made the following comment, "So, are they going to skip the aggressive hand-holding?" A fourth person chimed in and said, "He's like, If asterisk king, dare you to say something about this hug, Dad?" Duggar, Jessa. A few years ago, Jessa Duggar, who is 30 years old, and her husband Ben Seawald, who is 28 years old, redecorated their living room. During the process of decorating, she displayed a photograph of her and Ben kissing in a romantic setting while they were simultaneously embracing one another. This is in direct opposition to the conditions that her father has imposed, which include a prohibition on social media accounts and a prohibition on front-facing hugs. Two of these guidelines were disregarded by her when she uploaded the portraits that were displayed on her YouTube channel. Duggar Jill. An Instagram video was published by Jill Duggar, who is 32 years old, and Derek Dillard, who is 34 years old, of their date night at Applebee's. During the trip, the couple had brought along their two boys, Israel, who was 8 years old, and Samuel, who was 6 years old. Before Jill shared her dinner with him, the two of them exchanged passionate kisses on the video footage. Around the time that the video was coming to a close, Derek also dropped a kiss on the cheek of his wife when she was drinking her beverage. Since her departure from the reality show in 2017, Jill has not been bashful about breaching the restrictions that her family has previously established. Having been married to Derek since 2014, the former television celebrity continues to remain. Jim Bob and Michelle together. The fact that Jim Bob and Michelle have broken their anti-PDA rule multiple times is a surprising revelation. In the year 2021, the couple posted a photograph of themselves in Branson, Missouri, surrounded by the magnificent snow they had just experienced. A caption that read, "My Forever Valentine," was added to the wonderful photograph. One photograph showed them giving one another a stunning kiss, while another showed them beaming for the camera. Both of these moments were captured on camera. Additionally, Jim Bob and Michelle were seen in the video holding hands and kissing under the mistletoe while their children took pictures of them capturing the moment. During the time that they were making an appearance on TLC, the couple also had a moment with Jessa in which they kissed on camera. She was being instructed on how to kiss by them. "Allow me to demonstrate to you the most effective manner to kiss in this location. "When you kiss each other directly, your noses will come into contact with each other," Jim Bob explained. It was then that Jim Bob added, "So you have to turn one way and she turns the other," as the other three people burst out laughing to themselves. The Duggar family, with their famous 19 Kids and Counting reality show, became synonymous with conservative values, old-school beliefs, and a family dynamic that seemed to revolve around an almost otherworldly level of respectability. With their daily routines, homeschooling endeavors, and an overwhelming sense of order and structure, the Duggars were the epitome of wholesome family television. Yet, as with any reality family, beneath the surface of seemingly perfect behavior were moments that occasionally broke the mold, and for the Duggars, some of those moments happened in full public view. One of the more interesting aspects of the Duggar family's public life was their approach to affection and personal boundaries. In the conservative world they inhabited, romance, courtship, and affection were carefully orchestrated events, far removed from the spontaneity and openness that most people in the modern world were accustomed to. But even within the confines of their tightly controlled image, certain public displays of affection stood out and raised eyebrows. 1. Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar, the over-the-top kiss. Of all the Duggar PDA moments, perhaps none are more iconic and often more mocked than Michelle and Jim Bob Duggar's over-the-top kiss. In a family where physical affection is often limited to side hugs and carefully controlled behavior, their kiss on television was shocking. The Duggars have long been known for their commitment to modesty, with courtships that don't involve hand-holding or kissing until the wedding day. Jim Bob and Michelle's commitment to conservative values extends to their public displays of affection. However, their kiss on camera was something else. In an episode of 19 Kids and Counting, Michelle and Jim Bob were filmed at their home as part of the family's routine, engaging in what could only be described as a passionate kiss that seemed to defy everything their followers knew about their public demeanor. The moment occurred while the family was gathered for a moment of reflection, but it wasn't just a peck on the cheek or a quick smooch to mark an occasion. The kiss was drawn out, with Jim Bob and Michelle locking lips for an uncomfortable amount of time by most standards. The kiss sparked controversy and amusement, particularly because it went against the family's own strict principles regarding public affection. As a family who prided themselves on promoting a chaste, modest lifestyle, this kiss was something many saw as a stark contradiction. For followers of the Duggar way of life, it was almost as if the parents had broken their own sacred rulebook. Despite the awkwardness, Jim Bob and Michelle seemed completely unfazed by the attention, standing by their decision to express their affection as a married couple in a way that felt right to them, regardless of public opinion. The moment became one of the more infamous clips from the show, sparking numerous memes and discussions about the fine line between modesty and public displays of affection. 2. The Duggar courtship rules and their rejection of public displays of affection. The Duggars' approach to courtship was often a point of fascination for both fans and critics alike. While many couples in the entertainment world engaged in public displays of affection, the Duggars took a much more conservative approach, placing strict rules on their children's romantic relationships. Jim Bob and Michelle's courtship rules were founded on principles that seemed out of step with mainstream culture. One of the most notable guidelines was that no physical touch, including kissing, was allowed until after marriage. Even hand-holding, which many couples considered a normal and harmless display of affection, was off limits for Duggar children until they were officially engaged. This strict no-contact rule extended throughout the entire courtship process, which often lasted for months or even years, depending on the couple's comfort level and family dynamics. For the Duggar children, affection wasn't something to be shared in public. The concept of public displays of affection was seen as inappropriate or unnecessary for their values. As a result, there were few moments in which the Duggars engaged in affectionate displays in front of the cameras, and the rare instances that did occur were heavily scrutinized. The family's commitment to modesty meant that even their public displays of affection were heavily controlled, ensuring that no one stepped outside the boundaries of what was deemed acceptable. However, even within these rigid boundaries, there were moments where the Duggars' PDA reached a level that caused fans and critics to question the underlying message. Jim, Bob, and Michelle, despite their intense devotion to their principles, occasionally showed the world that their relationship wasn't just about rules and restraint, it was also about affection and love. 3. The Duggar children's courtship announcements and their impact on PDA. Another significant aspect of the Duggar family's public image was the announcement of their children's courtships. The moment a Duggar child entered a courtship was a major event, and often it was filmed for the reality show. These courtships were not simply romantic affairs, they were the beginning of a public journey, marked by a series of rituals, traditions, and expectations. For many Duggar fans, the courtship announcements were a spectacle, often followed by public commentary on how the relationship would progress. The announcement itself often came with heavy emphasis on the couple's purity, values, and commitment to each other. But what was often missing from these public courtships was any real show of physical affection, at least until the relationship reached the engagement stage. Unlike most relationships where PDA can be a sign of passion and intimacy, the Duggar courtships were about building a foundation of trust and mutual respect. The couple's first kiss was typically reserved for their wedding day, which left many wondering about the boundaries of their affection before then. When the first courtship kiss occurred, such as for Jessa and Ben Seawald, it felt like a significant moment. However, for Duggar fans, this wasn't a typical kiss between two young lovers, it was an event that had been carefully planned and controlled. Publicly, it was seen as a moment of triumph for the couple, showing that they had successfully adhered to their family's rules while also expressing their love in a meaningful way. In some ways, the Duggars' approach to PDA seemed to be a reflection of their larger philosophy about relationships. Their adherence to modesty meant that affection was something to be protected, not flaunted. But, like any couple, the Duggars had their moments where their love for each other broke through the public facade. 4. The impact of the Duggars' PDA moments on public perception. The Duggar family's approach to PDA and their over-the-top moments, like Michelle and Jim Bob's kiss, had a lasting impact on how the family was perceived by both their supporters and their critics. For some, these moments were seen as a testament to the Duggars' deep love and commitment to their values. Others, however, viewed these moments as hypocritical, suggesting that the Duggars weren't as in control of their public image as they appeared to be. For some conservative viewers, the kiss and other PDA moments were viewed as an opportunity to celebrate the deep love and respect that Jim, Bob, and Michelle shared. Their relationship, which had weathered decades of challenges, was seen as a model of faith and devotion. These moments of public affection were viewed as an affirmation of their shared values, showing that even in a world that often seemed to reward excess, they were committed to each other in a way that felt pure and sincere. On the other hand, some critics took a more cynical view, arguing that the Duggars' display of affection was a carefully constructed act designed to maintain their public image. By showing affection in such a calculated manner, the Duggars were seen by some as attempting to control the narrative of their relationship, ensuring that their love story was viewed through the lens of their values rather than through any real human emotions. 5. The complexity of family dynamics and public affection. At the heart of the Duggars' relationship dynamics was a deeply rooted sense of family and faith. Their approach to courtship, affection, and public displays of love were shaped by a complex set of values that prioritized modesty and purity. However, these rules often left little room for the more nuanced aspects of relationships that the broader public typically celebrated. In many ways, Jim, Bob, and Michelle's over-the-top kiss wasn't just a moment of affection, it was an expression of the tension between their private lives and the public expectations placed on them. For a family that had lived their entire lives in the public eye, every decision, every kiss was scrutinized. In this context, their PD moments weren't just about love, they were a balancing act, walking the fine line between public and private, between what they believed in and what the world expected from them. Ultimately, the Duggars' public displays of affection were as much about their values as they were about the complexities of being a reality TV family. Despite the occasional awkwardness or backlash, these moments captured the essence of what it meant to live life on display, balancing affection, modesty, and love in a way that was uniquely Duggar. In conclusion, the Duggars' most scandalous PDA moments, especially the unforgettable kiss between Michelle and Jim Bob, captured the tension between their private devotion to each other and their public image. Whether you saw it as a touching display of love or a moment of awkwardness, these PDA moments became emblematic of the Duggars' ability to maintain their image while navigating the complexities of reality television and public life.